Almost any ancient mythology is rich in various gods and demons. Akkadian mythology is no exception, where the Mesopotamian demoness goddess Lamashtu occupies a prominent place. Yes, she is in first place among all other evil gods known to mankind. She is the most terrible of all female demons. She hunted women during childbirth, stole their newborns while they were breastfeeding, and then destroyed them to eat. Accordingly, her name in Akkadian means "she who destroys." However, as vile as eating children was, Lamashtu also did other evil deeds. She disturbed sleep and caused nightmares. She destroyed foliage and contaminated rivers and streams. She fettered the muscles of men, caused premature births in pregnant women, and brought diseases and ailments. Amulets depicting the lion-headed Lamashtu with bird claws were worn by expectant mothers to protect themselves from the evil deity. Scientists also know from a cuneiform tablet in the Louvre, which records a ritual against Lamashtu, that she was also bribed and discouraged by offerings of small feminine objects, such as combs and brooches. The first mentions of her appear at the end of the 2nd millennium BC, and the ideas persisted until the existence of the beliefs themselves. Gradually, this demon passed into the Sumerian beliefs. This creature was a woman with a lion's head, who rose from the afterlife and brought diseases and disasters to people. Children suffered especially from her, whom she either infected or took with her. In folklore, she was depicted as a monster who breastfed a dog and a pig. At the same time, she always had either a comb or a spindle, as the belief of the inhabitants of Mesopotamia says. If you look at the sources left by the Sumerians, you can often find Lamashtu mentioned as one of the members of the 7 evil demons. In addition to her, there are Alu, Asaku, Galu, Namtaru, and Utuku. In general, her inclusion in the divine pantheon should not be surprising, because she was not originally a simple demon bringing suffering and destruction. She is the daughter of Anu, who is one of the 3 main gods, under whose control is the sky. Therefore, Lamashtu's main element is air. However, the goddess herself had her own initiative and did not obey the orders of the elder gods and their laws. Not the least role in her freedom was played by the ability to easily penetrate the world of living people. Here, she could do whatever she considered necessary, but she always had a favorite type of victim. As noted above, Lamashtu always preferred children who were just born or were impregnant women. Usually, if a mother had a premature birth, it was always believed that a demoness was at work. In order to do his dark work, Lamashtu enters the house through open windows and doors, and then touches the belly of a pregnant woman 7 times. If everything goes as the goddess wants, the child will die before it is born. However, even after arriving in our world, children are not safe. As soon as the mother is distracted, Lamashtu will take the child from her hands. People came up with their own ways to protect themselves from Lamashtu's influence and family tragedies. If a woman was pregnant, they used a bronze head in clothing depicting another demon, Pazuzu. It was he who was the supreme being among the demons in Babylonian mythology. There were other, more radical measures, such as sacrifice. Most often, it is said about small cattle or birds, but you could try giving the goddess a brooch or a centipede. It was believed that Lamashtu would be distracted by these things. Along with the improvement of stone and metalwork, the so-called Lamashtu tablets appeared. In fact, these are also talismans, like the heads of Pazuzu. Only here the demoness was depicted directly. However, archaeologists have found tablets on which not only pregnant women were drawn. More often, simply sick people were depicted there. This means that people tried to protect themselves from any disease that Lamashtu could bring with them. During its existence, the image of Lamashtu itself was constantly changing. The result was a truly terrible creature. The demoness had not only the head of a lion, but also donkey teeth. A little later, they began to draw ears to the head, similar to donkey ears. She was naked, and her body was hairy. Her hands were most often covered with bloodstains, and her fingers were long and with sharp nails. Instead of ordinary legs, she had bird paws. In addition to a piglet, she often holds snakes in her hands. At the same time, Lamashtu has her own animal. A donkey. This is easily guessed from her appearance. But why, already in the time of Noah, Lamashtu disappeared from the historical arena, remaining only in myths and legends, and no one ever heard of her again? This is explained simply. Such a terrible creature simply had no right to exist. And God, having cleansed the earth with the help of the great flood from numerous monsters, such as the Nephilim or Leviathan, also eliminated Lamashtu.